All right, in finishing up our cartoon jumble, I'm going to show you some specialized steps that you may or may not want to do. It depends on how your reference is looking. But looking around the room, I see that a lot of you have some nice, really thick line qualities from your reference. And mine are a little thinner than I want them to be. But we're at this place now where everything is in one layer. I have all my subsequent layers underneath, but now I'm working on it as one combined layer. And that gives me the ability to do a few things. First of all, I can duplicate it on top of itself, like so, which gives me 3 copies of the same layer. And it's subtle, but what you'll see is when you duplicate it, especially when you convert it to multiply mode. So if I change all these layers to multiply mode, they're going to darken. It's like bolding your lines by duplicating and putting on multiply mode. And that's a very subtle way to thicken and deepen your black lines. If I want to merge all those 3 together, I just hold down Shift, select all 3 of those layers, and then I go up to Layer and say Merged Layers, and it will only merge the selected ones. The shortcut for that is Command E, so I'll do a lot of that, making duplicate copies and then merging them back together. And then if I want it still bolder than that, this is a nice trick. I'm going to make a duplicate with Command J. Then I'm going to go up to Filter, and I'm going to slightly blur, using Gaussian blur, the line quality. So I don't want to blur it that much. I want to blur it maybe across 4 pixels at the edge, which is actually a big difference. So let me show you what that did. And this is a great way to thicken up your own drawings that you've scanned in. So that's what the blur did. It took this line and it made it out of focus. And that looks really thin. But because it's transparent, and because if I put it on multiply and duplicate it, Command J, Command J, Command J, very quickly it gives me this nice, bold, smooth, almost marker line. That is my own line, not the one from the reference. Now I duplicated it a lot. I duplicated it 16 or so times to get that, and then I can merge them all together by going to Layer, Merge Layers, or Command E. Now that's all on one line. So the difference between this, which is taking it directly from the reference, and you see it's kind of jagged and really varied, to this. And now that's looking a little bolder, maybe a little more interesting. Now to sharpen that up, I can even go further, and I can double click on the layer and I can apply what's called a color overlay to it. And I can make that any color I want. I can also select all the negative space, all the empty space, using the magic wand with contiguous unchecked. And I can then say refine edge. And this is all kind of extra stuff that we'll be playing with later. And in refining edge, I can grow that selection out. So make it bigger and even smooth it a little bit and contrast it more. And it's trying to preview. But you see that's going to cut into my lines a little bit, so let me, which I don't mind entirely. I don't think I want this smooth. There we go, it's getting a little sharper. All right, so it's going to cut those pieces out. So then I say, okay, this is refining edge with any selection tool. Takes a bit of processing, and it's going to select those areas, and then I can delete those. And you can invert it the other way as well. So that gets rid of some of the haze, but now I want to cut into the lines. So I want to send it the other way. There we go. And selections are really tricky. That's why it's nice to have your history. If you have the selection you want and then you lose it, you can try to get it back. That's what I want. So it's cutting in right to the edge of the selection. And then I delete, and that will sharpen it up on that white background. Like so. Okay, now I'm going to replace these blacks with color. So how do I do that? Well, I make a duplicate of it. Always safe to make a duplicate. Then I'm going to select all the empty space using the magic wand with contiguous unchecked. And then I'm going to say select inverse. Now the challenge of this exercise is not to create any content on my own. So instead of painting now, and I'm going to replace the black lines with colors, I'm going to go back to an image search, and I'm going to do a search for Looney Tunes. And I want an image that just has tons of color. This one looks, oh, this one would be great. Or maybe even, let's see. I want it to be fairly high resolution, so I should enhance my search tools and make it larger than 6 megapixels. Let's hope I still have some good options. So these are pretty nice options here. I could use the CD covers, but I want something with the color from the actual characters. Ooh. Even though this isn't exactly Looney Tunes, this is the exact kind of thing I want. It's called Looney Tunes characters, but it's got looks like Disney characters to me. Now it thinks it has it. Let's see if it's actually available. So we view the image, we're waiting for it. It's not sharpening yet. So it might be too good to be true. But then I love what Google Image Search does, and it finds similar images for me. And I can look at those. Ah, here we go. So if I take this now, and I'm going to save it to the desktop. It's got the Looney Tunes, it's got the original colors. It's like a wallpaper design or a fabric design. It's now on my desktop. Maybe I closed it too soon before it was able to download in my haste. Got to be willing to fail, right? Make mistakes and then learn by doing them over and over again. But now I know what I'm looking for. Got it from there, and then searching by the image. And finding related images. So this one looks pretty interesting. Let's see how big that is. Not big enough. And then just drag this to the desktop and verify that it's there using F11. And now I can minimize this. I go back to Photoshop, it will remember my selection. And what I'm going to do is move in that new image. So let's open it with Photoshop. So now it's in a separate file. I'll drag it out, I'll use the move tool, I'll drop it in on top. Oops. To deselect for the moment, you'll see why. I'm going to transform it so it's nice and big, maybe rotate it a little bit. This is just for the color, so I don't need it to be as sharp, but it will work pretty well. And now, if I move that underneath my black lines, select the empty space on my black line layer with contiguous turned off, and then select the inverse, so it's actually selecting the black lines. Then turn off that layer, move that selection to the colored lines, and then duplicate just those colors. I get the black lines replaced with very clean cutouts of those colors. And I can actually do that a few times. So now I'm going to take that same background and I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to move it a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing. Hit return, turn on the black line layer, select around it, all the empty space with contiguous turned off, select the inverse, so now it's just the black lines that are selected, turn that layer off, go back to my background, and duplicate with that selection, turn off my background. So I have this one and I have this one. And how do I kind of combine the two? I'm going to use a blending mode. I could try multiply, and that will just darken them all. That's pretty nice. Let's turn on the white background so we can see what it would print like. Or I can use screen, which will lighten. It's maybe too subtle. Or I could use overlay, or soft light. These are some of my favorites. Or pin light. And I can try them at different opacities on top of each other. So I like what that looks like, and the only thing I don't like about it is how clear it is to see Elmer Fudd's eye. I find that very distracting. So that's on this layer. So all I need to do is lasso that part of it on the layer that doesn't have Elmer Fudd's eye and duplicate it and change that to a different opacity and a different blending mode, like say normal, and then turn them all on, and I won't have those issues anymore. So if there's areas I want to bring color up, I just duplicate it and take off the blending mode in just that one area. Important to have your background separated. If an area looks too light, I can hold down Shift and add to my selections. And this is how I'll get my final product that I'll first save as a PSD file and then save as a JPEG and then upload to PhotoBucket. And I'm liking the results. Okay, so now I'm going to save it and I'll be all done.